Hi, I'm Jaden Reno.
And I'm Jagger Walton.
And today on PHSN, Bailey Sweezy and Alina Diaz bring you a look into the beginning of wrestling season here at Princeton High School. Jaden Reno and Amy Ibarra bring you a special look into Princeton's new cornhole team. Reporters Tommy Bullard, Jagger Walton, Adrian Rojas, and Jaden Burdett bring you a feature story behind the life of former New York Giant, Princeton High School's own athletic director, Stacey Dillard. And toward the end of the show, Amy Ibarra brings you a fun segment.
Y'all must forgot. Hey KP, how they forget that fast though?
I don't know, man. I think they need a reminder.
Bet. I'm in mode. Let's go. Let's go.
Porter made this one.
Y'all must forgot. I'm the one who put that guap up in the spot. Y'all must forgot. Started with a little, flipped it to a lot. Y'all must forgot. Said he got that bread, we put up to the drop. Y'all must forgot. Yeah, I'm quick to pass, but I'ma shoot my shot. How y'all forget? Walked in with them bands, they think I hit a lick. I plead the fifth. I just copped the whip, no need to call no lift. Oh, you on beef, I get the bag and then I deal. Let's take a trip. Counting blues, these honeys like they nip. I'm alone, I don't like to talk. She said she ain't going, I'm making her walk. Got the file locked up in the vault. My nephew's good if I'm with him, it's about.
Alina Diaz and Bailey Sweezy interviewed the wrestling coach and wrestling students about how they feel about the upcoming wrestling season.
This is my 16th year as a coach, 22nd year in the sport. You know, I've had some success, and not many coaches get the chance to start something from scratch. That's the kids, you know, getting to see them be successful. You know, there's no me sitting in the corner calling plays. You know, once they're out on that mat, you know, my work is done. And so then it's just getting to see them shine and be successful and do what they do best.
I started wrestling when I was 8 years old and just fell in love with the sport. I like feeling like I can actually do stuff.
Really good friends got me to join, and also my brother had joined, so it got me.
Wrestling is for everyone.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the overly sensitive. It's not for if you can't take a beating.
Can be. It's just you have to like mentally and physically be there.
We interviewed the cornhole team and coach to gather more information on the new team.
I am Mr. Sadler, principal at Princeton High School. Cornhole is a game where you have two slanted boards. Each of them have a hole in it, and each person gets 4 bags that are filled with what used to be corn, hence the name of the game, cornhole, but now it's changed a little bit as the game has progressed, and it's usually filled with plastic beads or resin. And the goal is to take your 4 bags and to throw them on the slanted board, slide them in the hole. At this point in time, it is a club that we run during Pride Time. This is our first year to have it during Pride Time. Last year it started as kind of an after-school just activity, and we had a lot of students show some interest, and so they started showing up and practicing and getting a little bit better. And that's the reason why this year we were able to move that into a Pride Time, and we had a lot of interest from students who came into the Pride Time. We actually ended up having to create 2 Pride Times for it because of the number of students we had that wanted to be involved and wanted to participate in it. And then we do also have a team, and it is our goal to qualify a team. We'll be trying that in the next couple weeks to be able to go to the ACL National Cornhole Tournament to compete for a national championship in South Carolina. So with our competitions, we have hosted a tournament already, and we're going to host another one on Thursday of this week. And the way it works is the students show up. We have several different cornhole boards set up. There's a website and an app that the students get and they download, and then they go into the app, sign up for it, and then it randomizes the brackets for everybody, and then it becomes a full double elimination bracket where even if you lose at some point in time, you have to lose twice in order to be out of the tournament. We've got some prizes for the students that have won. We created some plaques for them, and then we also created some sets of bags that, well, we didn't create them, but we were able to purchase them and get them donated from certain people. Mr. McIntyre, our superintendent, donated a set of bags for our first tournament, and we give those away to the winners so that they can have their own personal set of cornhole bags, which at the professional level and at the competitive level become very expensive. Those bags can cost anywhere from $50 to $150. What I like about it is it's a little bit more laid back. It's fun. The kids really start to enjoy it, and as they start to see the success and they start to improve and get better, then you can see the enjoyment that they get from it. It's also a very simple game. Most people, all it requires is a little bit of hand-eye coordination, can be good at cornhole. It's one of those things that the more you practice it, the better you get. And so students that may not have had a lot of success in other types of physical activities can be successful at this one if they put enough time and effort into it. And so just hanging out with the kids and having a good time and having fun and seeing them be successful. And then, like I said, I really believe that we have a good shot to qualify a team to be able to go to the national tournament. And I think that would be awesome for Princeton High School to have someday a national champion cornhole player. It's really simple. All they have to do is change their pride time to be able to get into the cornhole pride time. And then we've got so many boards and we've got room for anybody that wants to try to be a part of it. And we'll get them set up and we'll teach them how to throw and show them the basics and get them the basic form. It's pretty easy to learn. And then it's up to them at that point in time. It's kind of expensive to be able to get your own boards and your own bags. So I don't necessarily recommend that at the beginning. Maybe you learn how to play and see if it's something that you really do enjoy first. And then we do have a lot of players who, since they started playing, have gone out and purchased their own sets and their own bags so that they can throw at home. And it's something that's really simple and easy to do at home, just setting up the boards and going out and throwing. And the more you throw, the better you get, and the better your chances are to be, to be someone who's able to be competitive at the state or national level. So that's a great question, and it actually started from our superintendent, Mr. McIntyre, and our former superintendent, Mr. Anthony. Both of them started playing a little bit, and so we actually put together a league for the faculty. And so the faculty league started a few years ago, and there were several faculty members that got together and started playing. And that's where we were able to purchase the sets of boards and the bags that we needed to be able to start the cornhole team. And it was at that point in time that I realized, well, we have all of the equipment already, which is the hardest part. Why don't we just go ahead and start a high school team? And so that's whenever last year I started getting them out after school just to see if there was anybody that had any interest. And then whenever we had about 4 or 5 students that were coming out and playing after school, it made sense then for me to go ahead and start that as a pride time. This year, Mr. Rowitz and Mr. Lavera were awesome and willing to being able to take those kids in as part of their pride time and be able to help get us a place for those students to be able to go to get the program started.
I'm Mr. Rowitz, the club sponsor for the cornhole team. Mr. Sadler initially wanted to start a cornhole team. He's got a group of kids that last year would throw consistently at lunch and oftentimes after school. So myself and the other cornhole coach decided to take up the pride time because it seemed like fun. Well, cornhole is, it's a simple game, but it's almost difficult to explain. So you've got two boards, one on each side, and each player is attempting to toss their bag and land it either in the hole on the opposing side or on the board. So you get 1 point for landing it on the board, 3 in the hole, and the first to 21 points wins. I think the closest thing I could compare it to in terms of a traditional sport would be like tennis. Usually you've either got seeds that are predetermined or you determine the seeds using a round robin. And then players are either playing in doubles matches or singles matches at the tournament. Well, I mean, it's tough to beat a 35-minute class period where you're just playing cornhole, so I think it's a lot of fun. But I also like seeing how gifted some of these students are. It's one of those things where it seems easy until you sit down and do it. I mean, we've got half of the kids out here could beat me 21-0 in a cornhole match, which is fantastic. So I like seeing them succeed and get a chance to do something fun during the day. Oh, a ton of reasons. First, like I said, there's nothing like being able to just play a game for 35 minutes during the school day. I also think it helps kids learn better hand-eye coordination, right? You're 27 feet away from the board that you're throwing to, so being able to kind of pinpoint and implement strategy in terms of where you land the cornhole shot, I think is a skill that develops hand-eye coordination that many students might just not have yet. Just come talk to me. I mean, at the very least, if you have the opportunity to play cornhole on your own, do it. But I hadn't played all that much, not in any competitive sense, before I started coaching it. Many of these students went from 0 to 100 in terms of skill level within a couple of weeks. So if it interests you, you want to play a game during the school day, then let me know. We can get you in the pride time.
Cornhole is a game where you get 4 bags and you try and make it into a board that has a hole in the center towards the back, and you get 4 bags each. You alternate throwing and see who gets the most score, and then basically you just try and win.
Cornhole's like beanbag toss, but with extra strategy. It's really fun. There's like, I don't know, you can play singles, doubles. There's a lot of different ways to play, and it's really fun.
I joined because I like playing cornhole, and it's just something fun to do with my family and friends.
I joined so I could have fun with my friends every day and just have something fun to do during pride time.
Well, the reason why I joined cornhole is because I thought it would give me some more entertaining things to do, because most of my life since COVID hit, I really didn't have much to do. It just left me at a kind of a bored state. But then when I found out there was cornhole here, and it gave me an opportunity to actually do something that I enjoyed to do.
I compete sometimes. You have tournaments that you can go to all the time, but you don't have to compete to play in this. But at the end of this season, so towards December, January, we're going to be going to South Carolina, I think, to nationals. So we're competing right now in Princeton tournaments so that we can see the top 4 players that are actually going to go to that.
It's really competitive. We do tournaments, and you can just compete with your friends too, see who's better.
My favorite part is, like I said, probably just playing with my friends and family, having a good time, making fun of them for throwing bad or something like that, just having a laugh.
My favorite part about being in cornhole, the fact that I get to be able to play with my friends and teachers, the people I really enjoy a lot.
I'd say it's an awesome time. I mean, it's fun, there's no sweat, it's not a big deal. You just come throw, hang out, have fun. If you don't like it, then that's okay, but it's really fun. There's not really a reason not to like it.
That was Amy Ibarra and Jaden Reno reporting for PHSN. Reporters Tommy Bullard, Jagger Walton, Adrian Rojas, and Jaden Burdett interviewed Coach Dillard to learn more about his football career and why he came here to Princeton High School.
We interviewed Coach Dillard about his high school football experience, his struggles when he first started playing OU football, his time as a New York Giant, and what his time here at Princeton has meant to him. What's your name?
Stacey Dillard. Actually, I was coaching at McKinney Boyd, a high school up here in McKinney that had just opened, and I saw that they posted that this job was open. When I retired from the NFL, I was director of a mentor program in Collin County. I worked in the Juvenile Detention Center for 4 years, and at some point I kind of got burned out of, I wouldn't say get burned out, but I wanted to get back into football. When this job came open, it reminded me a lot of my hometown, and I thought I'd be a perfect fit for this place. I grew up out in East Texas at Clarksville High School.
After graduating from Clarksville, he was recruited by Oklahoma University.
Big pressure up the middle by Stacey Dillard. And we have another play here that we'll see a couple of times. Mallory is sacked by Stacey Dillard, a loss of 14. And
Busted play. Pritchard ran the wrong route. And
another 3-step drop. Stacey Dillard does a nice job defeating the offensive tackle, coming around and picking up the big.
Everything's happening a lot faster at the college level versus the high school level. So the biggest challenge is really is the strength part of it. I was always athletic and fast and could change directions and stuff, but all of a sudden you go to a place where you're playing with people that have the same ability that you do, and in the weight room was the biggest part that I had to adjust to.
After graduating from OU, he was drafted by the New York Giants.
Obviously, it's a dream of yours. You work all your career to try to get to that next level, and I was actually predicted to go the first day. Back then they had 3 rounds, and 1 through 5 went the first day, and then the second day was 6 through 12. And I was really projected to go in the 3rd round, fell to the 6th round. The night before, the Houston Oilers that called and said that we were going to draft you our first pick in the morning. And the Giants had the pick right before the Houston Oilers, and the Giants drafted me. When I went to the pros, I really thought that some of the drills and things we were going to do would be drastically different. But one of the things that I was really surprised that we went to the basics. The first thing I learned is starts and stance. And that's kind of what you teach Pee-wee kids in Pee-wee football, starts and stance. And so what I learned the first day I started playing football is the same thing they taught me the first day of my NFL career. So football's football, no matter what level. When you get to the pros, this is your job and your family livelihood. So you had to really put yourself on a regimen of where this is work, and you had to focus and put your work in each day like it's a 9 to 5.
Godowski goes down. Boy, he did not have a chance. He was looking to throw that, but that was Stacey.
I really used to think that God called me to be a football player, but after I got into this stage of my life, I really think that the true calling was to come and have an impact on kids' lives, and I think that's the biggest thing that the NFL prepared me for. Is it gave me a voice, and it gave me credibility for kids to listen and understand that I've been at all levels and know what it takes to get there. And I think this is my true calling. Nobody really prepares you to be an athletic director. A lot of the stuff that you do, you kind of learn as you go. There was a lot of challenges when I first got here. I think what I've learned over the years is the most important thing is the product that we have is the kids. And that's what it's about. And I think too many people forget that, that's why we get into this profession. We get kids in here all the time that want to be football players, want to be doctors, lawyers, and I think we bring in coaches that can help mentor those kids to reach those goals. I think that's the greatest accomplishment that anybody could do.
And now Amy Ibarra presents a fun segment.
And what's the largest continent in the world?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not good with that.
Antarctica.
Yeah, Antarctica.
Africa.
The U.S.
I'm pretty sure it's Africa. Or no, it's Asia. It's Asia.
Yes. What's the closest planet to the sun?
Mercury.
Neptune. Mars.
Pluto.
That's Earth.
The moon.
And what's the longest river in the world?
The Ganges.
Nile.
Yes.
Mississippi. The Mississippi. The Nile River.
The Nile River.
Correct.
It's in Egypt. It's close to Egypt.
What's the capital of Texas?
Austin, sadly.
Austin.
Austin.
Houston. Oh, Austin.
Austin.
That's all we have today for you Panthers.